Welcome to the Answers for Real Men podcast, and this is our first laser show. And because it's our first laser show, I want to do something special. And just so you know, each week I'll have a longer interview show with a real guy who's got real struggles like the rest of us. And then I'll have a shorter show like today, where we will just take on one topic and kind of go a little deep with it for a few minutes. And that's kind of what we'll be doing until I think of something else. But for right now, it works. And today we want to talk about forgiveness. And it's really because something came up in the last week that I've had to struggle with for 41 years. And it's kind of an interesting thing. So we're gonna talk about forgiveness, and it has to do with my football coach. And it's kind of interesting. In the last 2 years, I've had two of my football coaches in high school pass away. And one of them I had just an amazing relationship with, and I love the man to death. He gave me so many opportunities that really made a huge difference in my life. And the other guy, who we'll talk about today, didn't. But at the same time, he should have. And I've been confused about it ever since. And this week provided me an opportunity to start working through that and letting it go, because I'm a big believer that real men need to take responsibility for things in their life and not carry around grudges and bitterness, because we've got bigger and better things to do. And the only way to get better in life is to let go of stuff. And we are better than that. And that's what a real man does. And it's about taking responsibility for that yourself, not waiting for somebody else to step up and do it. You need to do it. So that's what we're going to do today. And I really appreciate, again, you guys being here for Answers for Real Men. And so let's just jump in here and just talk about forgiveness, because I have learned through my own trials and tribulation, whether they be relationships, like my coaching relationship, or your personal relationships, or with a spouse or a girlfriend, or with your children, people you work with. It doesn't matter. All these relationships require you to be present and to engage, and which means things are going to happen. When things happen, you have to be better about them. I have a great client who is a doctor, and he's older, but I've known him for, more than 20 years. And he's always telling me, Arnie, I've really got to work on this. I'm too sensitive when he goes to meetings and people bring up things and they talk about things. He has to be willing to not accept criticism, but deal with conversations where things come up that we may take personally. Because remember, when you're in a conversation with somebody or with a group of people and we're just talking, sometimes things are brought up. Remember, not everybody has maybe your level of people skills that they're always thinking before they speak. Because let's be honest, most people don't. So things are said. I had that same doctor, though, just to put some perspective here, that same doctor years ago helped me deal with what I was dealing with my dad, when he said to me one day, he said, Arn, your dad did the best he knew how. And I really thought about it, and I came back the next time I worked with him and I said, you're right, he did. And that really helped me to deal with what I was dealing with my own dad. Instead of holding bitterness and anger because I didn't learn the things that I should have, that I could have from him, I didn't have the relationship that I wanted to. So instead of holding that grudge like I released it. I released my dad, who had passed away, from that responsibility anymore. It was mine. It was all mine. And you know what? That same opportunity came up to me this week. and was presented to me by a gentleman who is a great friend. He actually is a surgeon here in town in Phoenix, Arizona, and he sent me over an email. And this guy, his name is Travis, and he was a junior when I was a senior on the football team. He sent me an email and he said, Coach Key passed away. Would love to see you at the. They're having a celebration. That's what I call it, but a funeral tomorrow night. And I looked at that for a few minutes. I thought about it. I was getting ready to work with somebody, and I sent him over an email. I said, I'd love to, but I'd like to speak. And it took about an hour because I worked with somebody, and he sent back a message, said, well, that's not up to me. That would be up to his wife, Kathleen. You'd have to talk to her. And I said, send him over an email. Could you please send me your contact information? And he did. Because in between all that time, I had a couple hours to think, and I thought, this is God telling me you need to clear the slate. You need to deal with this right now. And so I called his wife, and I'd never met her, never talked to her. I said, I need to speak tomorrow night at Coach's funeral. And she said, that would be great. Would love to have you speak. She had no idea what I was going to talk about. I really didn't know. I just knew that I was going to ask this man to forgive me because I wanted to clear the deck. I wanted to get rid of this. And so I had one day to get things ready. And I did. I thought about it for about an hour or so. I had a break, started making some notes, talked to a couple people, and had some notes ready. And the next night, I did it. So what I'm going to do here, we're going to take about a 6-minute break. And during that time, you're going to hear my actual eulogy, one of 3 that was presented at Coach Key's funeral. And I just want to be public with you guys like I was with them. I spoke in front of, I'm not sure how many, but I didn't know very many there. And it took some courage. And it was one of those hard choices in life. And I love this quote from Jerzy Gregorczyk. Easy choices, hard life. Hard choices, easy life. And guess what, guys? Doing the right things sometimes is really hard, but those hard choices make for an easy life. And guess what? I'm free of this. I'm free of this bondage I was carrying around. I'm free of it. So here we go. We're going to take a minute here. It's actually about 6 minutes long. So here we go.